Hello everybody, and welcome back to another product review. Today we're going to be talking about City of the Mist, and I'm really excited to be talking about this one. This is really different from something we've done before on the channel. A lot of the things that we've been talking about are really similar to D&D and the system that they have. But this is actually powered by the Apocalypse system, and anyone who's a TTRPG veteran probably knows what that is. But it's something a little bit different, and it's run by 2d6, and that's all you really need. City of the Mist is pretty cool with their starter set, though, giving you 2 double d6s. I've never had a double d6, and now I got 2 of them. Glad to have it. And of course, we're going to do what we always do. What is in the box, everybody? We've got some tracking cards here. These are tags, and this is actually the health. So if I hand you this card and you receive 1 tag, that's 1 point of health. And when you get all the way to 6, you end up dead. It's a really interesting system, and it's pretty balanced since everyone has the same health. You've got your crew card over here. You'll be able to keep track of the crew, all of their tags and weaknesses as well. This almost seems like a Dungeon Master's cheat sheet, if you know what I mean. Totally perfect to have that for a starter set, because a lot of people forget that a starter set is traditionally meant to get GMs started with games. What else are you going to find in the box except for 2 maps? You've got this big old map here, and they did something pretty interesting. They've given you 2 small maps on the sides. It's like a compromise of the things I like and trying to fit as much as you can into the box. So this is actually really well done, and I'm not going to fault them for the small maps because I'll probably use them, especially since this is a narrative-driven story, and we'll get to what that means a little bit later. Welcome to the sewers with our next map in the box, and on the back we've got 2 more, a room and then a bigger convenience store. So really trying to fit as much as you can into these maps here. You don't necessarily need maps in a narrative-driven story, but it's awesome to have these visual aids for when you're actually doing things within the game. It helps because not everyone has the best imagination. I know sometimes I've struggled before. Within the box, you're also going to receive a bunch of character tokens, and there's a bunch for the players, NPCs, and even a few monsters down here. And they're not all exactly monsters, and I'm talking about you, Iron Hans. These tokens are pretty interesting, and they even have a backside, so they at the very least explain who's on these tokens. And a lot of people just leave the backside blank, so that's another plus in my book. And then we've got my absolute favorite thing out of this box. It's the character sheets. They're also giant posters, and you've got all your stats and effects of what you're able to do within the game on the back. These are awesome. I actually really love these. And it helps to give you an idea of what we're doing in game too. Anyone who does Theater of Their Mind play would probably love this game. But that was the first of our characters, or riffs as they're called within games. We've got another one, Lily Cho, and she's able to summon this giant green monster, that token I pointed to earlier. After that, you don't want to forget about Detective Anu. She happens to be a beast among the rest. Tellock. I think of him as like a Loki character. I need to take that association out of my mind. It's not exactly Loki, but he feels like it. But really, he's got more of an association with Thor because he's connecting with thunder and lightning. And then you got the priest with an exquisite set of hands. You better be careful what you say when you give the confession to this guy. And that's just the character sheets. I took a little bit of time on them, but those things are awesome. We do also get 2 books in here, one for the game master and one for the players, just in general to describe how you're going to go about the world of City of the Mist. And in City of the Mist, it's like a noir type of theme. You're solving mysteries, and there's a fog over the city where only you and the other people who are riffs are really able to see. And because of that, you're able to get powers. And these powers are granted to you by a type of legend or myth. So let's just say you wanted to embody Thor, the myth of Thor, you'd be able to have like lightning powers and other things like that. Or maybe you were just trying to embody like druid abilities and you'd be able to summon animals. You can also do that here too. I like to think of it as superpowers, but It's really like our day and age superpowers, where you'd be able to see the myths and legends come to life, like David and Goliath and other things like that. Again, I did say it was a rules-light type of system, because the rules in general aren't too important when it comes to combat or other things. You don't have to worry about too many specifics, you just have to keep track of the tags and the DM just rolls with the punches. This does seem like a really fun game to play, especially if you guys are only playing things like Dungeons & Dragons or really rules-heavy systems like Pathfinder. This would be the exact opposite and show your players how to actually do some real roleplay at the table, if that's a problem at your table. I know a lot of people have trouble coming out of their shells for roleplaying during a role-playing game, and something like this could really be the solution to that. I may have gotten a little ahead of myself, but I was so excited to talk about it. This game was made by Amit Mose, but it's published by Son of Oak Games Studio. The prices vary, especially if you wanted to get this in the PDF version, but it cost me about $30 on Amazon. Link in the description, and feel free to check out any local game stores because they're probably going to be able to hold this too. I know I found the past couple down at my local game store. There's whole expansions and extensions if you did want to find more for City of the Mist. I do recommend their box set, as you'd be able to get a nice bundle and everything you needed. I know that one's next on my list of purchases for the City of the Myth campaign. And yes, that was a pitch for my D&D group. We have been showing it quite a bit this episode, but the art for this is pretty cool. It reminds me of these comic book kind of dark theme, almost anime in a way. And I actually really like reading through things like that. And if anyone is partial to that art style, I think you'll really like reading through these too. Some things that might be a little bit hard when you get into this game, that the rules don't matter so long as everybody's having fun and the story is progressing. It's not exactly like that, but that's how RPGs should play. That's not to say there aren't rules and guidelines of how you make your character and other things within the game, because there is a whole host of player moves, something that everybody is able to do, but it encompasses the general actions that would be at play at your tabletop. So you could go for a change the game if you're trying to inflict a status effect, or if you really wanted to, you could try to convince somebody what you're gonna do next. Try to make sure that it goes your way. Or really even if you wanted to start a fight or respond to a fight. It's time to go toe-to-toe. And these are just quirky little labels that go for general actions that people understand for other games. But if you were to say, I would like to attack this person, the Dungeon Master or Game Master will be able to help you out with the terminology. They know exactly what you're trying to do, and it's really easy to figure out what you're trying to do, especially if you have this diagram here, which they happen to provide to you in the back of the player's book. If you do buy this starter set, for some reason you think to yourself, man, I could use just a couple more rules or guidelines to really help me grasp this, definitely check out any of the expansions, but a lot of PDFs and forums online are able to help you with character concepts as well. If I was going to give this a rank out of 5, like 3 to 4 stars, maybe 3.5, I am super excited to get a chance to play this because I feel like the narrative format is something that would be a real refresher to my table. What do you guys think of City of the Mist? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you have anything you want me to review, leave that there too, because we've got a couple more. It looks like Shadowruns on the horizon. But if you guys do know me, we've got a box to open. At the very end of this review, yeah, I know I'm not very nice on my boxes. At the very end of all of our reviews, we open up a box just to see what kind of miniatures we can get tonight. And I want to see, ooh, a big dragon out of that. Big as far as like the box goes, it's not giant. And that bad boy's called a Jungle Drake. Gotta love that. After that, we've got ourselves, I want to say a dinosaur head man. He's kind of got like a Tyrannosaur head. And I think this is a duplicate for us. Believe it or not, everybody, I think we've got a duplicate in all of these except for the Jungle Drake. So we've got ourselves that Jungle Dwarf again. Not bad to have more of these. But I'm actually happy to get a duplicate of this thing here. A dude disappearing into mist. I want to get so many of these figurines that I have a whole town just plagued by this mist. They're all disappearing like a Thanos snap. Yeah, I might have to buy a couple more. If you guys did like it, leave it down below, and I'll see you all later.